It's great to meet all of you. As I said, I'm Erica Rooney. I do a lot of things. I was just talking with someone earlier. It's very hard to put what I do into one sentence. I used to be a chief people officer. That used to be the thing, and that was super easy, but now everything that I do ladders up to getting more women into positions of power and keeping them there. That's right. Okay, then. I love a little feedback and excitement, so thank you. But I'm a podcast host, I'm an author and a speaker, an AI educator. I do fractional chief people officer work. I don't know, everything else, right? But today I am so excited to be here with you guys because we are talking about history being written in the training data. And what I want to tell you is a few months ago, I was at the Boston MIT AI-Powered Women's Conference. Now, I was there with my business partner and podcast host, Greg Boone, who's speaking tomorrow, because our podcast was going to be the podcast of the conference. Now, I was also there to represent my community called Chief, which I know some of y'all are in this room, but Chief is an executive network for women. And one night, all of the women were going to go out to dinner, but I was like, you know what? I got to rest my voice. I got to rest my pretty little head. And I'm going to tell you a story that happened. And I only know this because I woke up the next morning with 100 text messages, y'all. But these women went out to dinner, and one of the women had the great idea to ask ChatGPT, based on everything you know about me, generate an image of what you think I look like. Now, two things you need to know about this experiment is number one, y'all, we were at the AI-Powered Women's Conference. All of these people were highly trained in AI. They were tech founders, they were CTOs. They were using AI more than anyone. And they were talking to AI about their work that they do, but also about motherhood and other things that make them undeniably female, undeniably different. And so when all of those pictures started coming through the text feeds, they all looked the same with just a tiny little variation. They all looked like every Brad, Chad, and software developer dad that was out there, and I tell you, we were cackling at first because we couldn't believe it. It felt like this is a bit outdated. This is archaic. We have moved past this, right? But then one woman got a picture of herself. It represented her pretty closely. But y'all know those cute little art signs that you can pick up at TJ Maxx that say, like, in this house we live, laugh, love? Okay. There was a little word art picture behind her, and it said, "We men belong in the rooms where decisions are made." And then it even quoted Ruth Bader Ginsburg, of all things. I was going to have a stroke, y'all. But that's when it clicked for me. It wasn't wrong. It was actually exactly right. Because it had been spitting out everything that it had learned, every piece of data that it had inherited, all of the patterns that we continue to repeat time and time again. It got it exactly right. Now, what I find interesting is that it really becomes not a tech story, but a history story. And I like to call myself a historian of failures, but today I'm coming to you as a chief people officer who sits at the intersection of human behavior and how systems scale. And what makes that interesting is that when I start to look back at all of the histories of failures that we see, I start with medicine, right? Who knows what the leading cause of death in women is? Heart attack, heart disease, right? That is because all of the research and the data historically has been done on male bodies, which leaves women to be misdiagnosed and mistreated, okay? Car safety systems. They are also designed with a typical average male bodies in mind. And because of that, women are more likely to be severely injured or die in car crashes. This also shows up in the tech that we see, AI facial recognition systems. They identify white men more than anyone else. When it comes to women of color, the error rate jumps to over 30%. Okay? So it learns from everything that has been reinforced over time. And y'all, over time, it doesn't feel like history anymore, right? It just starts to feel like what it is. And so when we think about AI today, and we think about leaders and the responsibility that we have to think about who is in the room when these decisions are being made. Because history is written by those exact people. right? The question is not whether AI will disrupt the workforce. We already know that, right? We're all experts in this room. The question is, are we going to break the pattern recognition machine? Because for the first time in history, we actually have a technology where we can see all of these inequities being advanced over time, right? Every single one of you in this room, you are builders, and you are training the data. And we all have a responsibility to make sure that data represents all of us. And so the takeaway today is this, right? AI is incredible. It is changing the world as we know it. But for the first time, we can actually make sure that the history is worth repeating. Thank you. I'm Erica Rooney. That was my TED Style talk. I love it.